Peace and blessings, black family. I'm just gonna get right into this. This is gonna be debating white people 101 about slavery. This video will be the second video, or should be the second video. But yeah, let me get right into it. So, when you're debating a white person about slavery, one of the things that they will say that they're most definitely going to say is their ancestors are not responsible for what you went through. They're going to say something along the lines of, I'm not responsible. Me personally, I'm not responsible. Or the best one I've heard is, my ancestors came here after all of that had went down. You got it. Right now. Yeah, and I have two rebuttals to that sentiment. Rebuttal number one to the sentiment. Your ancestors may have not held the whip. Your ancestors may not have owned slaves, but your ancestors benefited. Now, when you say that, you have to be ready to back it up. Now, I'm not finna give it to you. You have to go and research it, because I had to research it. But I am giving you a good debating tool, a good debating weapon, in order to debate they ass the right way. Because a lot of y'all, I be reading y'all comments and y'all be getting emotional. And y'all go back and forth with they asses about the most pettiest shit. Y'all start calling out, mamas, and we gonna fight. Nah, you debate with they ass intellectually. You let them be the ass in the debate. Because you prove to them that they are the animals that you know that they are. And I did say animals, because this is why we don't trust you white people. We don't trust you because you have a history of, you know what? No, I'm gonna say that for another video. I'm gonna say that one for another video, because that is a debate weapon as well. Some of y'all probably already know what I was gonna say, but let's get right into it. Well, let's get back to it. You have to be ready. You have to be ready to back up what you say. You have to have had researched how these people benefited. And one book that I need you all to get. I need you to get How White Folks Got So Rich. I always suggest that book. It was suggested by Oh God in the black media, and I'm talking about as soon as he suggested, I ordered it that same day, and I got it from I ordered it from Amazon, and I got it I want to say within the week. I don't have the at the time of me making this video, I don't have the $99 a year 2-day shipping deal. But yeah, that book explains how not just white people who came over here with Christopher Columbus, but those immigrants who came over here as well, they all benefited from our slavery. They all benefited from it. Even after Jim Crow and those immigrants who came over here afterwards, they benefited from, and to this day, they still benefit from what had happened to us over, 60 years ago when they said that, 50 years ago when they said, or they tried to portray that racism was over and segregation was over, but we know that that's a lie. But what we went through for 300 plus years, those immigrants are still benefiting from those accommodations today. Secondly, and this is an analogy, and when I gave this analogy in a debate, I got no response, because and a lot of you who haven't done the research, I suggest that you use this analogy. You will tell the white person this. Say that I knock on your door, you let me in, me and you have a nice conversation. I come back the next day, knock on your door, you let me in, we have a conversation. I do this for about years. This last time I do it, not only do you open the door, you have some gifts waiting for me. I don't want those gifts. I want those gifts and everything else in your house. I proceed to beat you. Your wife or your husband tries to come to your rescue, and I get someone who's with me to rape them. And I see that you happen to have children, and I don't want them to see what's going on. So I take one child and I lock them in my car, and the other child I tie them up in the basement and put some on their ears so they won't hear me killing you. Okay? Now, in the midst of all of this chaos, your neighbors come outside of their house to see what the commotion is all about. So they see that the door is open. They're good neighbors. And these neighbors just so happen to look like me. As I'm in the middle of beating you, and your wife is in the middle of getting raped, there's one neighbor who thinks that what's happening to your wife looks good, so he records it. And years later, he feels bad that he recorded it, so he just throws the recording away. Another neighbor, he wants to step in and stop the fight, and I tell him, look, this man is super filthy rich. All of us are poor. All of us deserve what this man has. And that man, we do. And now I start taking everything in your house and I started passing it out to everyone that's in that room. Okay? Are those neighbors responsible for what I did? Did they have a hand in what I did? Because they could have stopped me from killing you. They could have stopped me from raping your wife. They could have stopped me from doing all kinds of things. But they were bribed. They were hushed. And they went on about their lives knowing that I did this to you for hours, up on hours, up on hours. And in this analogy, hours are the equivalent of hundreds of years. And in this same analogy, I can say, yo, Other neighbors started coming in after I had gave these people something. These other people who were standing by watching. And they came in and they wanted to help, but no, they were able to be hushed as well. And no, I just thought about it. I don't have 2 rebuttals. I have 3. If your ancestors were treated so poorly when they came to America, as bad as you say that they were, white person, if your ancestors were done just as horribly as ours was, but in another country by your own people, I say this. I ask this question. Where were your ancestors' voice besides the subjectively empathetic Jews who marched with us and the wannabe seen white people who marched with us? Where were your ancestors? Because if your ancestors were Jewish, they were subjectively empathetic, because we could just look around us and see all the racist Jews. I'm talking about the white Khazar Jews. And if you say your ancestors were white and they marched with Dr. King, that's cool. But I would just say that they wanted to be seen, because that's all they did was marched. Where were their voice? You want to say that the actions speak louder than words, but majority of the time it doesn't, because you could get paid to march with Dr. King, but if you speak one word, if you belittle your own race, we will kill you. Isn't that what happened with John F. Kennedy? I don't know. But if your ancestors were another skin color than mine, and they did not speak against, and where in history, I want to see in history, where were your ancestors when we were running from slave catchers, when we were running from the Ku Klux Klan? Did they harbor us? Did they give us refuge in the midst of our run? Or did they close their doors when we came knocking, hysterically, horrified that we were going to die? And I say we, because our ancestors lived through us. Okay? You see, a lot of white people have this problem, and it's okay. It's okay, because you have a reason for your stupidity and ignorance, because that's how you were throughout your entire existence. But you can never comprehend why we are our ancestors. Some may call it reincarnation. That's good, but it's not just that. Let's deal with science. Through our DNA, we're our ancestors. You your ancestors too. So that's why I can't trust you. I can't trust you simply because, not because you're white, but because of your history. Because what you are not stereotypically known to do, but what you are known to do. In the comment sections of every controversial video, white people go harder in the comment sections than black people do. White people will be the first ones to say, nigger, fuck you, we're going to hang you. We're going to find your ass and we're going to kill you. That's what they do. Say that you don't, white person. Say that you don't say something along the lines of, this is reverse racism. The great, the honorable Khalid Muhammad, gave this analogy. When a slave is being whipped by his master, and he just so happens to get the whip from the slave master and starts to whip the slave master, is that reverse racism? Y'all eat on that. Black power, black African power, black nationalism all in your face.